Good afternoon, Whisperers, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. My name is Sonya LaRae, and I am your host. I'm a lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, educator, and motivational speaker. I am so excited to be in our safe zone today. Excuse me, I'm so sorry trying to get this mic right. There's been a lot of things going on in here in this studio today, but I have to tell you, I am so excited about today's discussion. So, look, you know what we're all about here. Make sure that you click the subscribe button. And most importantly, make sure that you share this because this discussion is so powerful that someone definitely needs to hear it. And we are going to really pour into it. And look, if you want to get on our cocktail and our mocktails that we have, please make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. It's of dynamic articles as well as the featured cocktail mocktail. But we're over here on YouTube and we don't do our cocktail and mocktails over here. But if you want to join me live at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this afternoon, make sure you go to my home base over on Blog Talk Radio at www.blogtalkradio.com/whispers in a bottle. And you'll see that even on the screen. So I know that we have everything kind of set up and letting you guys know where you can connect and where we're going and everything. So, I love this. And then on top of it, in our private Zoom room. I am so excited. Uh-oh, we got a little power outage going on over here. What is that about? Let's get some light back in here. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Here we go. Okay. Sometimes it happens. It's live. It is live. So look, we have in our Zoom room uh the beers and books. I love that. Beers and books out of Michigan. They are about 30 members and they love great discussions of their book of the month and along with a dynamic beer of choice. Who could be complaining about a book group like that? Look, count me in. They're a lot of fun. It's a mixed group and I love it. They've been very feisty and spirited in the chat box already over here on Zoom. So I know they're going to pour into this conversation just like you all here on YouTube. Always make sure that you connect. Don't forget the chat box is live. I love to monitor a great chat box. So drop your questions, your comments in, and just connect with me because that is what makes this discussion so powerful. So, with this being said, look, are you ready to get into our discussion? Fear as a superpower. Oh my goodness, right? That topic, right in itself, is just mind blowing. So, I love to start our discussions off with a clear meaning and a definition, and this is no different. So, we're going to get the understanding of this fear. So, here it is fear, unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous. So let me say that again. So, what fear is the unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous. Whispers, there was a powerful word that was in this definition from right at the jump that jumped out at me as soon as I heard it. It was belief. And so belief is an acceptance that a statement or action is true or that something exists. So the belief, notice that. I know many of you are sitting and thinking, has Sonya lost us or has she just tapped out on us that fear is a superpower? Well, yes. Yes, I am saying that. I haven't lost my mind. I'm not out on a left limb, but it is definitely a superpower. See, many of you don't understand the secret, and many of you even avoid or ignore it. And fear is a massive superpower. Massive. I know. The ladies over and the people over here in this chat box over here, they're like, what? And I'm like, yes, definitely. It's the truth. It is totally true. And now, look, listeners, I have to tell you, whisperers, each and every one of us experience fear. We all experience it. And I know many of you out here today can actually testify to the fact that you have experienced fear. And it's very normal and it's natural to have some fear. Notice I said some fear, because fear doesn't have to paralyze you. Fear puts you in a heightened state of mental, physical ability to help you achieve and overcome whatever adversity you may face. See, that's what people don't understand about fear. How it kind of moves us to do things and how it connects us to keep pushing forward. Oh, I know, dynamic. See, fear is a powerful thing. And see, you have to sit and ask yourself, what does fear do to your body? Okay, so I just said you got to sit and let that resonate with you a little bit and ask yourself, how does it affect my body? See, what many of you may or may not be aware of is fierce endorphins into the body, and then it sends the adrenaline into your system, which in turn makes your heart pump faster, and it shoots oxygen throughout your body. So you hear all those different things that it has and all the different ways that it resonates inside of your body and what it causes and the uptake of, right? So then it makes you 3 times stronger than you normally are and allows your mind to process information faster than it normally can. Now that's powerful, because if you really look at that, that's a dynamic superpower. It's really giving you a full boost and a full charge into your brain. And that is what we need, is our brains to be energized and equipped to move in a certain way. So instead of allowing, or let me not even say allowing, let me just say, instead of letting fear hinder us, you have to recognize it's actually there to help you. I know, I know. They said, really, yes, fear is really there to help you. And fear is a full octane, or the dynamite that propels you to perform at your best. Oh my goodness. I have to tell you, I started this discussion. It kind of made me excited because so many times I hear people that have such different beliefs and different things of with regards to fear that kind of limit them and keep them of not being able to elevate to the next level because they're so afraid of really reaching out and doing differently from what they have been doing. See, I want to take a moment here and share 2 clear examples of how fear can be used in its utmost superpower. So hold on, let me get my notes because I really want to get this clear for you. First, I don't know how many of you have had the opportunity to really watch on Disney Plus the National Geo's Welcome to Earth featuring Will Smith. Some of them over here in the Zoom room have gotten to see this. Now listen, whispers, if you haven't gotten to see this, what Will Smith did, I encourage you, please go and watch this. It's on Disney Plus. You can sit down in your home and just really indulge and watch this journey. So, but this is the thing. Will Smith took on some of his greatest challenges and fears during this journey, and of coming to know, see, and appreciate this dynamic earth that we live on. I mean, this is such a perspective that he gives us on our earth, and even how he is moving and challenging himself to press forward through the fears that he has. And he was pushed beyond his limitations and fear of water, even. Because he said, if fears of stepping out and into nothing, I was like so impressed by him. And I think it gave me a different perspective of him, because I've always seen him as someone who was very, comical. He's funny. He does a lot of things, that laugh that he has. But then I realized too, when he was laughing, he has a different gesture in his laugh. When he's uncomfortable, his laugh pitch is kind of more resonating in the top half of that zone, where when he's more confident, it's a little lower and more controlled. And so, really, you got to see him in that element and that dynamic of that fear that was holding him. And to see him blossom in this show dynamic. And, you know, he even was with a gentleman that pushed him a little beyond what he was even comfortable with, and different things, and which was the discovery of his very own superpower that he had in him since he was a child growing up in West Philadelphia. He had that fear that was in him from childhood. So Will Smith embraced his fear nationally and publicly to allow us to sit in our homes and be able to discover these marvels of this earth, but to also see the growth of this man, because he took us on such a dynamic journey into this. The retrospective perception of fear and what it was doing to him and limiting him. I have to tell you something. He made a profound a profound statement during this journey. And I want to read it to you verbatim on what he said, because this was so powerful in itself. He said, something so profound. He said, fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is the product of our imagination that holds us back, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. But then he said, the truth of all truths. And this is what I said. This is when I said, oh my goodness, Mr. Smith, you showed up. You called into everything and harnessed that superpower of fear, because he said this: never misunderstand, danger is very real, but fear is a choice. How dynamic, right? Oh my goodness, everyone over in the chat box are like, this is so true. It's powerful. Oh my goodness, yes. That statement in itself is, you know, inevitable. It is just so beyond powerful. And this whole discussion became so much more for me after I watched Welcome to Earth. I knew, Whispers, I wanted to help you to elevate further in 2022. For me to help you harness this superpower would be another one of those grand master keys that I always tell you that I like to give you, because this is a grand master key. I know you're like, why? How is this possible? Why are you saying that? You know, you could use your fear as a motivator and a stepping stone to greatness, and to propel you beyond the limiting thoughts, beliefs, ideas, conditionings, or that keep you incarcerated in your mind. Did you hear me? Incarcerated. And we know what incarceration is. That means that it's locked up against your will. And see, when we do that and we harness that and we lock it away so securely, we're limiting ourselves. And so, this dynamic power and energy is something just that resonates deep with me. So, remember, I said I had two examples that I wanted to share with you, right? So, the first one was with Will Smith. Well, the other one is me. And sometimes I always use myself with you all because you and I have such a deeper connection, and allows you all to really connect with me and to see where I come from with a discussion like fear as a superpower. See, whisperers, I had to face a major fear just recently. And I had to really kind of harness the power of this fear as a superpower for me too. And I didn't know if I would be successful. I wasn't sure if I could really do what I needed to do and having the clarity in moving about. And I didn't know if I could even climb out of the deep pit of darkness that this fear was holding on me. Yep. And I'm really very transparent with you all the time. All the time. And when I lost my mother, that's when that fear gripped me. And I tell you all the time that my mom was a many of things for me. And I tell you how much that she poured into me and she helped me in being able to elevate and move my mind forward. And so I didn't have that voice and that safety net, as I like to say, called Mia. And that's my mom. And I had to decide if I was going to allow this fear to really cripple me, debilitate me, and make me not grow. And I had to keep on working in and tapping deeper into it. And as I worked deeper into it and started to really put myself into this space that I needed to be. And sometimes as people, because we're afraid of something new, something different, something challenging, we don't allow ourselves to really kind of sit in that uncomfortable spot. And that uncomfortable spot is that fear. And so we're always trying to get our track shoes on and to run. But I had to turn and face my fear eye to eye, directly face to face. And I have to tell you, I started running towards it. And I mean, I was running with my might, and I have been running with my might towards this fear. Because, see, what you don't know is that many a times when you are a talent, and even though I own this agency and I work with you all through the counseling process and everything else, there are times that we have to really kind of harness that fear and channel it into our heart to really see, where is it taking us? Where is it leading us? Or are we even able to have the clarity into seeing it and then addressing it? And as Will Smith said, taking the choice to how we deal with it. So I decided to take the choice of dealing with it and running towards it and facing it. And I was moving at lightning speed towards it because I had to really come up against it, whispers, to know that I could embrace and to bloom in a way. And everything that I was starting to feel and that I needed to grow out of and I needed to move out of started to move with me and shift. And much like Will Smith, it opened up a dynamics about myself that I did not know I owned. It opened up a different level of creativity and a different kind of voice that started to resonate deeper inside of me that birthed so many different things in this little time. As you know, next month is the 1 year anniversary of my mom's passing. And in this short period of time of 1 year, I've achieved so many different things that maybe I might not have if I allowed myself to settle into my fear. So I want you to realize that when we do this, this could definitely be our trajectory that gets us in that rocket ship and blasts us into that success and allows us to kind of settle into self a little bit and be uncomfortable so we're able to see that brilliancy of what the superpower is in fear. See, I want you all to realize that we can have fear, but when we place those fears as our reality, it blocks out the sun that needs to shine in and nourish us. Because, see, that's what we need. We need the rich vitamin D. We need the elements from the air. We need the minerals. We need every possible thing that is going to flow through us so we can be able to mount and use that fear as our superpower to just move us into our next destination. And so many people don't get that. And so many people keep limiting in themselves because the fear is so crippling. But see, it blocks out all the greatness that you need to see and feel about yourself. And most importantly, it keeps you in a cycle of failure and imprisonment when you don't harness that fear. See, I guess like a lot of times I use harness or that word as harness because when you think about it, like even if you think about how in a with horses, they have the harness, they have that bridle on them. And it's able that you are able to control this massive animal that has so much power. I think about the jockeys that ride them, and these are small men that have so much power under them when they're running in those races. But because they have that bridle and they have that horse harnessed, they're able to have that connection and they are able to have that power over that beautiful animal. And it's the same thing that we want to do when we have fear. We want to harness it so we have control of it and it does not have control of us. I know that's powerful. That is what I'm talking about. This discussion by far had to be something that was moving me in such a way that I just did not want to take it lightly for you all. I didn't want to come in here and just glaze over it and just, just a little light, topic on it. No, I want us to talk about this. I want us to really feel it and let it sit in our chest. And when I say it sits in our chest, that means it sits in our heart. Because I always tell you, your heart is the soil, the rich soil that makes things grow. It makes it blossom. It makes it just flourish in a different type of way. I realized that along many individuals' journeys, they were told to conquer their fears, to overcome fear, avoid it at all cost. And you've been programmed or desensitized by society to see fear as your enemy, that it's your enemy, and it keeps you from growing. It keeps you from connecting. It keeps you from developing. But society wants you to believe that fear keeps you from moving in harmony with your dreams, where in fact, that's totally the opposite thing. That's totally a lie. See, I know this is going to sound odd, but listen to what I'm about to say to you all. The times that you were unable to fully appreciate the moment and you were unable to move forward toward your dreams or goals is because you have been unwilling to welcome fear into your space. Yes, we have to welcome it in so we can capture and harness the power of it. And you have not been willing to embrace fear nor hear the clear message that it was trying to bring to you. Oh my goodness. Yes, it talks to us. It talks to us. It says so much things to us that we're just even afraid to even remotely sometimes give it the clarity that it really needs and the voice that it needs to really echo into us. And I know this is going to sound odd, but listen to what I'm about to say to you. The times that you were unable to fully appreciate that moment and you were unable to move forward toward your dreams or your goals is because you weren't willing to really sit in that presence. And when we run, we forget something powerful. And we just talked about it last week. And it's the power of pausing. And look, if you didn't hear last week's discussion on the power of pausing, I really encourage you to go back and listen to it because I really delved into that really deeply. And I shared with you how it really allows us to sit and let things resonate and fully take a seed of growth in us. It allows us to reset our minds, our bodies, our souls. And this is one of those discussions that it's a little deeper when you think of it and how it is. And it's not something that's just a surface conversation that we're having. Because fear as a superpower is a dynamic quality that you have to really start to focus towards to be able to really get the clarity of it. Because you may even hear that it is your own limiting beliefs in your ability to achieve or change something that will make you have your greatness. It's our own limiting beliefs that keep us from achieving, growing, running, and moving in a dynamic pattern. And if you feel this energy that's in this conversation right now, you feel that power that it has. You know, I think about a lot of times, like when people speak about different things. I know, like lightning. Lightning is so powerful, and it can be so destructive. You know, but literally, when you see it, it is dynamic, and you see how it streams and it goes across the sky. And if you studied lightning and how it makes the connections and now the electrodes and the different things that connect for lightning to connect and have that power to it, it's awe-inspiring. And so just the same as what fear is, it can be also awe-inspiring because it can develop such dynamics in us if we're willing to sit in that moment for a second. So I always tell you I'm a person who loves acronyms, right? And so I heard two dynamic acronyms for fear. And I wrote it down and I want to share it with you. And I have to do this for you. So fear is this. It could either be false emotions appearing real. So, fear, false emotions appearing real. Or it could mean this: face everything and rise. Oh, I'm telling you, the second one kind of like resonated so deep with me. When I heard that acronym, I was like, hold up, let me say that again. It's face everything and rise. Woo! I'm a huge Maya Angelou fan, and she has a poem, So I Rise. And that word rise is used in it because it gives a dynamics and it gives it an energy. And so it's the same thing that fear can do: face everything and rise. That means we're meeting the challenge. That means that we're stepping up to the plate and we're not letting it control us, but we are controlling it. Woo! Tell you, yes. In the chat box, they're like, you better speak. You better say that. Yes, thank you so much. Because that's how great it is. Oh my goodness, whispers. I'm telling you. See, it's how we look at things and how we receive the message that really just kind of like, I don't know what the word is, what it does, but I know how I feel right now giving this discussion to you all. I know that the passion that I feel in it to really help you all to understand what this is, and the power of fear is also like that harnessing of the power of self-talk will allow us to walk ourselves back from the edge and help us rise much like cream, much like an eagle, much like things that soar. It's the same difference when we face fear. Fear is a superpower. See, whisperers, fear is that primal response that you feel in your body, the hormonal and neurochemical response that's like initiated in your brain, and that allows you to act quickly, respond efficiently to danger. It's powerful force that will keep you alive when a life-threatening event occurs. Fear, that's what gets it going. That's what keeps you centered. That's what has that magnitude that helps people to survive some of the most horrific things, is because the adrenaline of fear that pushed in, capped in, and made their brain have clarity to be able to know how to handle the circumstance. Powerful. Woo! Do you get why fear is so essential and why it's dynamic in its superpower? Do you really understand that? Or am I just talking to the air? And they said, no, you're not talking to the air. They feeling it over here. I love them. I tell you, this group that I have right now, they are supercharged on this discussion and they are just pouring into the chat box. One even said that, you know what? I never looked at fear as being something that is powerful, that could be a superpower. I think I want to harness it and I want to have it that it has a big red F on the front of my chest. Yes. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. See, it is essential that we understand this dynamic power. And, you know, if you learn how to really tap into it and harness it, you literally, my goodness, will be equipped in such a magnificent way that will move you through different elements in your life that won't be, limiting to you. So, here are a few keys I want you to take with you, though. So, I always give you master keys in every discussion. So, how do we get this? This harnessing of our fear and having it as a superpower. So, see, the first one is that we're going to do a reality check. So, when fear arises, quickly assess your circumstances to locate the perceived threat and undertake a reality check by diving down deep to your instincts, often felt in your belly or your gut. Oh, yes. To check if everything is okay, because 99% of the time, you are safe. So do that reality check. Check into it, see where it's coming from, see how you're feeling in that moment. The second thing is allow yourself to breathe through that moment that you're feeling that fear. Because see, when we have fear, our breathing becomes very shallow and it just starts to that we exactly. You have to breathe through it. And if everything appears to be safe and your instinct tells you everything is fine, take a deep breath, just a few clearing breaths, and meet the fear with a loving breath. And it's resisting you to not pause, but you need to pause in that moment so you can harness it, so you can see where you need to go and how you're supposed to move. See, fear has the same ebbs and flows, but most people run from them and they don't really get to feel and see what that really means for them. And then the other thing is that we have to be open. You know, I always tell you, we have to be open to really receive things. See, when we're open, we welcome, we embrace, we feel and experience the responses in our body and feel it. And it allows us to move and roam in a different way. It allows the corridors and the chambers for a moment to become so transparent that we can see and hear with clarity. Fear is a superpower. And then we're going to celebrate it. Oh, we're going to celebrate it because, I always tell you all, you must celebrate your micro wins. You must celebrate these elements and these moments and these times. And see, when we do that, whisperers, the presence of fears show you are growing. It shows you that you're changing and moving out of your comfort and into the unknown where there are endless possibilities. That's why you're going to celebrate it, because it's your dynamics of change and growth that you're experiencing. So, whisperers, fear isn't your enemy. Nope. Contrary to everything that you've heard, it is not your enemy. It's not the monster that's hidden in the dark. It's not the thing that keeps you from striving, achieving, moving, or going. It actually is an energy that propels you to keep you moving, to keep you striving, to keep you reaching if you learn to harness it and tap into it. Not run away from it, though. Never run away. Unless it's danger. That's a whole different subject. That's a whole different discussion that we're not having. See, it actually your superpower that will allow you to grow and overcome the obstacles that are limiting to your beliefs. You know, I've really enjoyed having this discussion because I feel like so many times there's so many different things in our lives that keep us from really growing and really keep us from connecting in such dynamics with ourselves and the quality that we have in ourselves. And so when we go through these things, we have to be willing to sit in that moment and sit in that moment of not really having the total clarity to know where we're supposed to be, but not to be afraid to try, not to be afraid of what life has offered or what it's not offering us, but to really maybe go out here and set our course where we need to be. See, whisperers, I want you to realize that sometimes with fears, they can limit us and we may not be able to get past it. So, in that time, that's when you may need to have professional help. And that's when, at times, when you should tap into even myself to be able to help you to break free of the limiting beliefs, to break free of the fears that keep you from achieving and doing the things you know that you're really looking to do or to destined to do. Because all of us have a desire to do something outside of our comfort that will help us to grow and to help us to nurture and move forward. So, you know, this has been such a powerful discussion. It's been something that I've wanted to talk about for a while. I didn't know if I was really going to do it here or maybe I was going to do it in my club on Clubhouse at the Round Table of Intention. But when I really looked at it, I knew that I wanted to have it on a broader scale. I wanted to bring this conversation to life inside of our safe zone, where we could really pour into it and really kind of peel back all the layers, open up the curtains, throw the windows open, and just let it breathe. Because so many times when we have topics like this, they're just glazed over. People don't really pour in and really tell you why you need to harness this dynamic power, this superpower of fear. Because I always think like this: we have options in our life all the time, we have choices that we have to make. And sometimes when there's a hard choice because we are so afraid of maybe failing, those are those times that we have to harness that fear and step out on faith. Because, see, when we harness fear and we step out on faith, it allows us to realize fear is a superpower. So, look, I just thought this was so powerful today. I'm honored to be able to come in here and have these discussions. I'd love to thank our beautiful sponsor, the Authentic Love Academy. They have a grand course that they've actually launched for Valentine's Day to help you tap into your love and to find your true love. It's shifting into Loveology 101. And by the end of this mini course, you'll be able to grab the attention of that special someone, have a mastering of the skills of attraction, have a clear guideline of what you want and from what you don't want, and also just to level up your dating experience. See, click the live link in the description box. Sign up. It's a mere cost of $70, but trust me, April the Loveologist is bringing in love in a dynamic way. So I'm so grateful to be here with you all. You know, I want you to come and get social with me. You know, I'm on social media. You can find me all on this Instagram at whispers in a bottle _podcast. So come over to Instagram and come get social with me at whispers in a bottle _podcast. I want you to join our fabulous Facebook group, because this is the thing. We are starting our office hours coming up, and you have got to be a part of it. So if you're not on our email list, I'm going to tell you, please make sure you sign up. There's a live link in our description box of every episode that you need to sign up for, because the invitation for the office hours are going to be in the newsletter. And you don't want to miss the office hours, because there's going to be some dynamic discussions that's only going to happen in our private group. And they get the invitation for it, so you'll know when it's going to happen. You need to be signed up. And then go over, join the Facebook group at facebook.com/whispers whisper in a bottle. So once again, that's facebook.com/whisper in a bottle. You can even find us over at Twitter. You can find us at twitter.com slash whispers. That's capital WHISPERS, capital BOTTLE. Whispers Bottle. Come over, connect, and just come get social with me. I love to connect with you all. And listen, like I said, if you're over on Clubhouse, which is an audio app, download the app on your phone. It's Android as well as iPhone. And I'm telling you, I'm hosting powerful discussions over there, just like what we're having here, but even just different, a different texture, a different tone. You all can come up on the stage because it's audio. You don't have to worry about that. You're going to be on camera or anything, but it's an audio app. You can come up, you can pour into the discussion. I can hear you, I can connect with you, which I would love to do. It's every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a live link also in the description box, and it's here on your screen too. So you can definitely click in and join because I want to be with you all. I want to bring forward dynamic discussions. I launched a brand new e-journal. The first edition went out March 1st, and it's shifting mindsets. And for a limited time, you can join, and it is free. So get in there now and make sure that you subscribe, because at a certain point, it's no longer going to be free. And if you're already in there, you're in. So it's shifting mindsets, dynamic articles, great articles actually, and it's helping us to move into that growth mindset, as I said, that we're doing for 2021 and beyond. So we are on our way. So, Whisperers, this has been a dynamic time with you all. You are listening to Whispers in a Bottle, Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. I am your host, Sonya LaRae, lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, educator, motivational speaker, and always your humble host who loves coming in here in our safe zone, having these dynamic discussions. Look, guys, please be safe. I'm on the East Coast, so we're in for an ice storm. Many of you all are along that corridor as well. Please be safe. Use wisdom when traveling and check on your loved ones and even those that are elderly. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and have a beautiful weekend. All right, guys, come back next week for another powerful discussion on Whispers in a Bottle. Have a great weekend. Talk to you then.